Hi there again, Booktube Lola here, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm bringing to you a video about my top 10 favourite characters of all time from mainly fantasy books. So getting straight into it, my 10th favourite character of all time, I'm going to count down from 10 to 1 being my all-time favourite character. So my 10th favourite character of all time is Matilda from Matilda by Roald Dahl. What I love about Matilda is that you get to follow a young child and her story about how she isn't getting the proper parenting, she's being raised by people that don't really see her, that don't really care for her, and how she kind of deals with that in her own way. I love the fact that she gets telekinetic abilities, but that isn't what it's mainly about. It's about how she connects by learning, and she does that by teaching herself how to read because her parents don't realise that she's supposed to be going to school until it's kind of too late in a way. But by that point she's already taught herself very high standard kinds of learning, way past her age level and age group, and then she has to face a horrible head teacher who won't allow her to proceed in her education the way she is able. So it's kind of that kind of idea, and it's really interesting to see from Matilda's perspective, like, that she should be progressing more, and that the fact that even though she's been through all these hard times in her family life at home, she still knows how to respect people more than adults know how to respect each other. I just find it a very, very wonderful and entertaining story. Going to number 9 is Penelope from the Odyssey. Penelope is a character who is basically the wife of the main hero of the story, and you do get to follow her story during all stages of the book, and she's meant to be the loyal and most faithful wife. Penelope stays at home. She's the only one who believes that her husband's still alive from the Trojan War, Odysseus this is. The story is basically about Odysseus making his way home to his wife and his people, but getting caught up in all sorts of adventures and getting completely lost off track along the way. But Penelope specifically is wonderful because she stays so loyal to her husband, even though he's been gone for about 20 years. She still believes he's alive. She's warding away the suitors who all believe that Odysseus is dead and that she needs a new husband. And because she loves Odysseus so much, she wants their house to continue. So by the suitors being in their home, they are still a prosperous family. So she kind of has to date the suitors in a way. She's promised that she will choose a suitor to marry when she's woven a tapestry. So by day she makes this tapestry, she designs it and weaves it, and then at night time when nobody's around and nobody's looking, she'll undo some of it, so it takes a hell of a lot longer for her to weave this tapestry than it's supposed to. And she's a very, very clever and cunning woman, but very, very loyal, so that's why I love her character. Going on to number 8, my favourite character from the Mistborn series is called TenSoon. Don't know if you've read it, but it is a wonderful series by Brandon Sanderson. It's about you being able to use metal to control your magic and all that kind of stuff. TenSoon is a character who has taken over somebody else's body to kind of serve somebody. So he's basically serving a human, which is what his kind of do now. They're very subservient and all that kind of stuff, even though they didn't used to be.
This is so that they can be controlled, because they're very dangerous. Like the Lord Ruler who used to rule made them to be these subservient beings, and so TenSoon is one. But
he kind of breaks through with his role. He has had to pledge his life to people and humans, even though his people hate humans. Like, all of his people have had to do this. And he kind of breaks the boundaries and kind of helps the main characters through certain aspects of their adventure and their roles in the stories. Can't give away too much because it's in like the second and third book that you meet him, but he's a wonderful character. He's loyal, even though he's loyal to those who value him rather than loyal to the people who don't and treat him like a slave. So yeah, I like the way Tensoon breaks the boundaries, is kind and kind of fights for what he believes is right. Going now on to number 7 is Aiden from the Illuminae Files series, which I absolutely adore. Some sci-fi books that I've actually enjoyed. Aiden is a artificial intelligence device who gets such a wonderful personality in the story, which is really ironic. I always just, when I'm reading these books, which I've read twice now, really looking forward to the third one, I always look forward to the sections where it's Aiden's perspective, because it's just so poetic and wonderful, and the way the pages are laid out in Aiden's perspective are just something that you've never seen before anywhere else. I would highly recommend Illuminae Gemini. He's just such a unique artificial intelligence character. He questions what is real, like what reality is his own, and if he even has a personality, it's kind of what it is to be human in a way. Has he got a life because he's artificial intelligence, because he was made by people, or is he just something that's been given this life or personality that he has? It's a very good question on like philosophy, and like if he's turned off, does that mean he's dead, or does that mean that you can just come back at a later date? He questions all these philosophical things, and it's actually really wonderful to see from an AI perspective. Going on to number 6, I don't know if you read the Court of Thorns and Roses series. I absolutely love it, by Sarah J Maas. But my favourite character from that series is Mor or Morrigan, who you do come across in the later books of the series. So again, I can't talk too much about her, but I really love how quirky she is, and how she can be sarcastic, and how loyal. Like I don't know if you've noticed, but I really love loyal characters, and Mor is an extremely loyal character to the main characters of the story, and she's a wonderful friend. And I love Mor's personality, and like I said, her sarcasm and her loyalty and her protectiveness as a friend, I suppose. She's wonderful. Going on to number 5, it is Crowley from the Good Omens book by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. They came together to write a book about the Antichrist who was switched at birth, basically. That's what the whole premise of the story is, and how the angels and the demons are having to cope with that. Now Crowley is the person who was supposed to be in charge of switching the Antichrist and the human baby at birth, but it kind of went wrong. So in trying to make something go wrong, it went wrong for them.
So they were tracking this child that they thought was the Antichrist, and it ends up that when this child is like 10 or something along those lines, they realise that that isn't the Antichrist, and they've got to actually go out and find who the real Antichrist is before Crowley gets in a lot of trouble by the devil, basically.
But yeah, Crowley's my favourite character because his best friend is an angel, so the main two characters of the story are Crowley and Aziraphale. Crowley's the demon and Aziraphale's the angel, and it just shows that contrast between good and evil, and that nobody is really purely evil or purely good, and that evil beings can be good, and that good beings can have evil ideas also. And it's kind of this comical sketch between an angel and a demon, and how they are best friends and how they actually get along with each other, and it's just such a wonderful concept, and it kind of contrasts them between other angels and demons that are working for the same cause in a very comical way. It's just such a funny story, you should definitely read it. Going on to number 4, Luna Lovegood from the Harry Potter series. Even though she isn't from my house, which is Hufflepuff, she's from Ravenclaw, I do absolutely love her character. She's just so funny, she's unique, she's quirky, I have her pop vinyl right here behind me. I just absolutely love the way her character progresses and builds, and how she interacts with the main characters, and people just believe that she's crazy even though she has really, really good ideas. Going on to number 3, so I'm now on my top 3 favourite characters of all time. I am going to say that Lysandra from the Throne of Glass series, she is just so fun, forward, direct, and I think you might be getting the idea that I do like forward and direct people, because
I'm a firm believer in just being truthful with people, and I know the truth might hurt sometimes, but I think people should be more truthful. I think people would be more honest with each other and more direct with each other instead of having to dance around the truth all the time.
I think Lysandra is just such a great character to see because she is like that. She's very forward and direct, and she's funny, and she's just got such a great sense of humour. And I really like the comic relief characters in all these series because they can be serious and they are an integral part of the storyline, but they do bring some laughter and some happiness to the story, so I just love those kinds of characters, and Lysandra is one of those. She's a shapeshifter that has been stuck in the body of a very beautiful woman because she was working for like a brothel and everything. She got forced into this whole situation, and it's her growing as a character after she's come out of that situation, and it's such a wonderful and amazing concept to see her grow and come out of that and let her boundaries loose around people that actually care for her. Going on to number 2, it's Kara from the Sword of Truth series by Terry Goodkind. Kara is a Maud Sith, so this basically means that when she was working for Darkenrol, who is the main antagonist of the first book, when she was working for him, she had to torture people. Now this could have been for any number of reasons. Basically, she could have had to torture them for a punishment, and not many people would survive a Maud Sith. Or she would have to torture them for information, which was mainly the idea of a Maud Sith. Now, she has had to have a lifetime of torturing people. She has had no choice. When she was very young, she was taken away from her family and made into this woman of torture. She was taken from her family and she was tortured herself using this rod called the Aegil, which brings an immense amount of pain to both the wielder and the person it's wielded on. So they will both feel the same amount of pain from the Aegil. So she herself as a child had to be tortured so that she could withstand the pain from the weapon that she would be using. So after having to experience this for all, like, part of her childhood and then all of her teenage years and all of her adult life so far, she has been freed from this burden and she does not have to do this anymore. But the Maud Sith are loyal to the Lord Raoul, and so Kara follows the main character of the series and is very, very loyal to him. And it's seeing this woman go from something she's been forced into to actually becoming a woman and a person in her own right. Going on to my favourite character of all time, again in the Sword of Truth series, this is Nikki. And again, she's a very similar character to Kara, only her parents were very horrible to her, as you'll learn in a later book. So she's never had a good childhood. She had an upbringing on a religion and belief that was very flawed and very evil in certain ways, like it's the belief of the main antagonist of the rest of the series, basically. And she was brought up on that. So Nikki's character, when you're first introduced to her, she's actually an antagonist. You're supposed to really dislike her, and she's basically a sorceress who you are really supposed to dislike because she's against the main character because of her beliefs. She is then brought onto the side of the main characters later on in the series because she has this realisation that her life is her own and that nobody can stop her from living her own life. she just needs to take her power and life into her own hands and live it for herself. Hi guys, coming to you from the future because my camera cut out for some reason. As I was saying, basically what I love about Nikki is that she's such a strong character when she actually takes her life into her own hands, and she's just this very loyal and strong woman, which is something we all love in our main characters. We love strong women characters, especially in like fantasy and YA and stuff like that. So I'm just, my favourite character is one of those women. Thank you very, very much for watching my top 10 favourite characters video. I'm so sorry that my video cut out on you there and that I had to come to you from the future. So I will see you again in my next video. Thank you very, very, very much for watching. See you soon. Bye bye.